Bonjour, Booni, Ni Hao, King Tao, Assalamu Alaikum, Balad, Negative, greetings. I know I missed some. I know I did. I'm out of order. No, they doing too much. But greetings to everyone, and I am back. I missed you guys. Oh my goodness. Yep, see, confirmation. Hey, hey, okay. You know, you can't say I didn't tell you the truth because God is right. All right. So let me make sure I'm up in here. Hold on, let me get up in here. All right. So remember I did a video previously, a couple of videos I mentioned about how when I was in college here in Philly, before I transferred to Florida, that they had, I learned about Venus and Dwarf. But I got the name mixed up, but all that's about to be corrected, right? But I had Venus right, and I had the dwarf right. I think Venus, Will, dwarf, something like that. But when I was saying that, you know, God is a female, but what's weird to me is I heard a man calling my voice, and that's when the language popped up on my floor, right? And I've heard a man voice call me a couple of times, but then a woman came to me. So, yeah, and she had on rainbow. And I've been seeing rainbow ever since, like in my photos. That's so crazy. So the goddess that's connected to, she was the mediator for all the gods. Like she dealt close to all, I forget who that god was, but yeah. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. But yeah. So I just wanted to show you guys the photo. I mean, a video. It's an 8-minute video. Let me see. It's my first time on this channel that I know of. It popped up. So, but it's the oldest god. It says the oldest god is a woman. So let me share my screen. Let me get this off. Let me share my screen. I hope everybody is being amazing. You're all right. But I could never prove it. I was like, damn. You know, I couldn't put it in the words other than what I said. So the fact that I found it is amazing. And I also mentioned about how the women were, that's when they used to eat rams back then. And they thought the women were being greedy, stealing the food. But the women wasn't. They was actually pregnant. And this is a representation of that. And we're going to get me up out the way because I am nobody when it comes to God's work, right? And the message. So, yes, it's 8 minutes. I might interrupt. I'm not sure, but probably, you know what I mean? Because I don't know how to keep my mouth shut, right? Say no. All right, so here we go.
Buried around 25,000 years ago is estimated to be 25,000 to 30,000 years old, found in August of 1908 by Johann Veron in a site near Willendorf in Lower Austria. It is carved from Ulitic limestone that is not even local to the area and tinted with red ochre. The reason why this figure is dated to what it is its association with Upper Paleolithic Gravettian industry, with similar sculptures exactly like this dating to the same time. It probably was left on the ground somewhere and buried around 25,000 years ago, with radiocarbon dating surrounding this exact time. It seems to be a type of fertility idol It never had any feet and would not have stood on its own. It might have been pegged into soft ground and stood up on a pedestal. Notice the similarities between this Venus and the Kubaba figure.
And see, you notice the figures wasn't really about the face. It was all about the body, which is the fertility. Because that's when women discovered that, you know, I guess the way they got pregnant changed. I was in and out in class. I ain't pay 100% attention in class, but I paid enough attention to share it. And then look what I ran into, you guys. And this is one of the things that, well, these are everything that she mentioned in school as and other things. It was more information, of course, because I was in there for a whole semester, right? But this is summing it up just a little bit. But you know, us women, it's like it's so much going on, and they're keeping us apart because as long as we're apart, we won't be able to make that bubble. We won't be able to have that field because once we get that field, they won't be able to touch us. Once we step into that field, so separation is why they need us to, you know, go along with it. That didn't make no sense to the end of that, but they need us to go along with their agenda to keep us apart. Because if they do that, we die. But we strong and we become mighty and we transform into something. Remember, transformers have certain parts to it. Certain parts is moving in order for it to transform, right? These are connections that's us. We are connecting. There's only a certain amount of us. It's not all the fuck of us. Get the fuck out of here, some of y'all. But I'm just saying, forgive me, God, they ain't nice to rub it in. But I'm just saying, hey, I'm just saying that's how I feel, being honest. Forgive me, God. But yeah. So we are the transformers. Yes, we are. I wouldn't know. I'm just using it as a metaphor. I mean, because that's the name they gave it. But we all connect. Some of us connected to the leg. Some of us connected to the heart. Excuse me. Some of us is connected to the mechanical uh, components. You know. So yeah.
From Anatolia, later becomes the model for Kybele.
And do you notice how it's a face? Look how it's a face right here, a frown. Because it's now out of its. Oh, thank you, God. That's a gem right there. That's because the frown right here represents um the universe, the Most High, being disappointed and mad, and so is the woman because now she has been taken out of her natural state. This is the transformation. Damn, that's a gem. This is the transformation. Damn, how I be knowing this shit, boy. I tell you, boy, God be hooking me up, boy. I tell you, boy. Everything I ever wanted to know been coming so fast, yo. It's like, ooh, ah. Sorry, y'all. It was stinging on my tooth left. Ooh, at 404. Ooh, I got some shot. On my left, on my right toe. My last two toes, I was stinging. Shit, that shit made me scream out. I hope nobody got no damn dog. What am I doing? Hold up. Give me a second. Somebody at my damn. Oh, that's the neighbor. I was about to say, like, what? Play with me. I don't play that shit because I don't even like people popping up on my house. The fuck? Better call, bitch. Out of here. Type of time you want. The hell? I don't like that. That's a trigger for me. Fuck you popping up for? I don't give a fuck how cool we are. Bitch, call. I ain't popping up over your shit. Anyway, so yeah, this is the woman in the universe mad. She's being taken out of her uh femininity. I mean, not she's being taken out of her natural state because this is when women started having sex with men. That's how they got pregnant. And they didn't know that if they was doing that, that this would happen. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's move forward.
This at Barakat Ram is also dated to 280,000 years ago. It's a small pebble found on the Golan Heights near Israel. It was excavated by Nama Goran Inbar from the Institute of Archaeology at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Inbar suggested that the object resembled a female body and that was artificially modified by hominids to emphasize.
Oh, this is for learning purposes only. I had to stretch. Learning purposes only. Okay.
Its anthropomorphic features. The object was called the figurine and is currently known as Venus of Barakat Ram. And it's fascinating how similar these objects turn out to be.
And you see they added the word ram to it, which that's what they used to eat.
Venus of Hohlfels, dated to 40,000 years ago, found in Europe near Germany. This is the oldest undisputed example of a depiction of a human being. The other two that I mentioned have disputes. This has no disputes. 40,000 years old. Venus figurine looks almost similar to the other ones that I've shown. And it's sculpted from a woolly mammoth tusk, an animal that is no longer alive on the planet. Venus of Dolní Věstonice, 29,000 years ago, found in the Czech Republic at the base of Devon Mountain. It seems to be a symbol of fertility. Relatively smaller head and little detail. A feature which no longer remains part of the sculpture is the fact that it is thought to have been originally ornamented with 4 feathers. This is evidenced by the 4 small holes on the top of the head. Although the type of feather has not been determined, the holes are said to be produced with a tool that is relatively sharp. In addition to the Venus figurine, figures of a bear, a lion, and a mammoth, along with horse, fox, rhino, and owls, and more than 2,000 balls of burnt clay were found in the same general location. This is the Venus of Galgenberg, dated to 30,000 years old. Because of the figurine exhibits a dancing pose, it was nicknamed Fanny after Fanny Elsler, an Austrian ballerina of the 19th century. It is sculpted from shiny green serpentine rock, which is found in the immediate vicinity of where the figurine was unearthed. This beautiful image right here is known as the Venus of Lassel, carved from the limestone rock in Marseille, France. The figure holds a bison horn in the shape of a crescent moon, or possibly a cornucopia, which would be held with oil inside of it. It has 13 notches. She has large breasts and a great stomach, just like the other Venuses do, or later on, Kybele. This one's dated to 25,000 years old. This is direct evidence of sophisticated Stone Age tool use. This one was discovered in 1911. The figure and the horn are considered significant in figurative studies of Paleolithic art, and it seems to be just right in line with the other Venus images.
The horns is for the rams, and what I was told in school was they used to train the young men way before they were teenagers to help with the rams, because it was really hard to catch the rams and also to preserve it. You know, so the way they preserved it, and it was a process, and it was real dangerous. And something about a cage, she was saying, but I'll run into that information. I know it if I start hearing it.
Of around the world. The color and the number of notches on the horn may symbolize the number of moons in a year and the number of menstrual cycles in a year, connecting the goddess with the moon and menstrual cycles. Venus of Lesbourg, dated to 25,000 years ago, in the foothills of the Pyrenees in France and Spain. This one is 6 inches tall, carved from tusk ivory. an extinct animal. The carving shows a skirt hanging below the hips, made of twisted fibers. This statue may display the earliest representation of someone spinning thread. This one is my favorite. Venus of Brassempoi, known as the Lady with the Hood, another fragment of ivory carved from tusk dated to 25,000 years ago, found near Spain. She is wearing a hat, which is evidence of sophistication in dress from the Stone Age. This Venus is carved with mammoth ivory, and according to archaeologist Paul Baum, the head is unsexed, although it is usually called a Venus or a lady, but the head has a forehead, nose, and brows carved in relief with no
And
mouth.
you notice, I think this was before, yes, this was before the Egyptians, because this Venus and Dwarfs, if I'm not mistaken, was the year 3 or 30. So when he said 40,000 years ago, like in school, she gave us it was a date. It was points. It had a point. I think it had a point in front of it. Damn, I'm trying to visualize that. Like, I mean, I don't really sit there and talk to people about shit like this. You know, everybody don't want to hear this shit. You feel me? But yeah, it was a point. But I know it was like 3 in it, so it was 30 or 3. But this was at the beginning, like at the, this as far as it went back, as far as we know.
On the head is a checkerboard-like pattern formed by two
But the
series
Egyptians
of
had to be
shallow
inspired
incisions
by that because of the hairdressing.
at right angles to each other. The hair is styled in cornrows. It is agreed by scholars that this Venus also belongs to the Paleolithic material culture of the Gravitian from 22,000 to 29,000 years ago. This one, known as the Venus
I
figurine,
wonder, hold on, let me go back some. I wonder if this has something to do with the body eating that these little witches be doing. Hold on, let me go back. Where is that?
this one, known as the Venus,
No, right before that. Right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder if this inspired people that be eating people, like, as far as Satanism. I wonder. I don't want to be part of that shit. I just want the information. That's it. As far as I want
from 22,000 to 29,000 years ago. This one, known as the Venus figurine of Gagarino, also made with ivory, dating to 20,000 years ago from Russia. The depiction is very similar to the other ones.
We're eating their limbs and shit that would make us feel godly, like the feminine goddess. And maybe that's probably why they into that femininity and whatever they want to call it. Hollywood. That's that shit. Hood as fuck now. It's no longer conservative and bougie. Because I don't know where people get bougie from. Bougie is rich and stuck up. That's what bougie is. I mean, how you broke and stuck up. Like, that's not called bougie. You can act, anyway, let me go. The word is
Seen
the
all
same
around the
word,
world.
goddamn.
This is Venus Zyraisk. Both of these found in the same location, made from mammoth ivory, dated to 14,000 years ago from Russia.
And I wonder why it's showing no face. Is that because the shame, God, because remember I was crying yesterday, like, oh, I finally felt guilty for, like to God. I ain't give a fuck, my aspect of things, but I did what I did. I did what I felt like I had to do to, eat, so and be comfortable and safe. Fuck that. But for the most part, God being who God is, and and him knowing or her knowing what I did, it's just like, oh damn, I'm so happy. But anywho, I just don't understand how a woman came to me with rainbow on, and all of a sudden now rainbow showing up in my auras. Um, you know, like that's why I say be open minded. I just in 1 minute I believe that God is a woman, and then yep, and then the next minute I don't. but I know it's one or the other. And then that's when I came to the conclusion where I seen a woman, a man, a lion, and a dragon all in one. So I don't know what that means, but I always, I don't know. So
Lastly, the Venus of Monrose is another Venus figurine dated to around 10,000 years ago, right around the time of Göbekli Tepe, when languages are being developed and then civilization is starting to form. When we're almost entering the Copper Age and leaving the Stone Age, we see some sophistication. It has a black jet pendant in the shape of a stylized human body, almost like modern art, discovered in 1991 in Switzerland. And so, with that being said, with the world being way older than we previously thought it does, what does that do about the Bible? What do you guys think? Put that in the text, in the comments. Let me know what you think. And you have attained true gnosis.
that's so cool. That was so Yeah, so I'm so happy that I ran into this video because like I kept trying to mention it to you guys, but I'm like, these motherfuckers probably don't believe me. They don't and I don't even know how to, I looked it up and I never found a video on it. I never found really found no information. So I said this information must have been exclusive and now that things are opening up, because this was a Caucasian instructor that I had, because she was come come to think about it, she was the first person I ever heard talk about tea tree oil. And thank God I used to make her laugh all the time. But that means she was into some shit. So I'm glad I made all my teachers laugh though, yo. But the ones at Florida, their head was up in their ass. That's why God said, after I graduate, we're gonna close this bitch down. And that's exactly what God did. God closed that school right the fuck down. You hear what I fucking said? Shit, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Say no, let me stop. Yo, that shit was funny. I was like, y'all sat there, y'all fucking with my GPA, playing fucking games, knowing that my shit was straight. Like, what the fuck? Alright, whatever. You feel me? But you can tell that my IQ is not that low. So yeah, but anyway, what else I remember from that? They used to wrap the ram in something, some type of leaf. They were like really heavy in the herbs, and I mean, of course, it was at the beginning. So that was in my Mandarism class. What class? Yeah, I think Mandarism. And it was so funny because when she would tell these stories, I love stories because stories, it's like I astral project right while they talking because it feel like I be right there in the middle of what they're talking about. It's like I'm there. Like it's so fucking weird, but it feels so decent. Like, yo, this shit be it be so intense sometimes, especially when it's like action or drama or whatever. Like that should be crazy. But I don't feel like I'm in danger or nothing like that. That's not the kind of feeling I get when I leave, when my thoughts leave or enter. Because thoughts go out. What did he say? Thoughts go out. Yeah, so when my thoughts go out. So whatever, they fucking active. Whatever it is, I don't give a fuck. As long as I got some thoughts, goddamn it. I don't give a fuck. Shit. Period. Whatever it is. But what else? But yeah. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Do you think that women or are the original God? But I believe, uh, is a couple marriage, and that's probably why them crackers use use that, you know, and maybe they fight with each other, you know, the weather, and God is the earth and all things, so maybe he fucking God up, something like that. I don't know, but maybe there is two, a woman and a man. I don't know, but I've always been thinking about this kind of stuff since I was a little girl, always. And since I've been awake, I mentioned it a couple videos, you know, how I was young and didn't even know until now that I was astro projecting. But I used to always think I was, you know, in space, like, you know, with all these stars and it was just black. And I remember eating something from the universe. It was real weird. It was a real weird feeling. It felt really, really, really weird. I felt it one other time in my life after that, and that was it. But I know for a fact that it was something like with the universe. It had something to do with the universe. It wasn't like, you know, I don't know, but it was real weird. And I tasted something, but I never used to like to eat. So I guess that was God just telling me, you know, this food is, you know, whatever. But man, if I can only just like, you know, elaborate a little bit more. I mean, not elaborate more, you know, because I can understand. It's just, I mean, to help you guys. How about that? I wish it was a way where I can help you guys understand me a little bit more. Okay, because I'm good. You feel me? Let's get that clear here and anywhere else. You feel me? Stamp that. Real. But anyway, what is life without love? After you gotta hug yourself, hug somebody, feed that heart, feed that, feed that, feed that, feed that. Yeah, and I pray that you all have a great day. And I'll be back with another video. Don't know when, but you know, when God put it upon my heart, I will do so. But I got so much stuff going on, y'all. It's just little old me, no help. And I just been praying for the right, sincere help. People that can deal with my energy. You know what I'm saying? I don't need people around me too fucking serious, and I don't like people around me who too fucking playful. It got to be a balance. But anytime you looking at me like I'm fucking crazy when I'm embracing my goofiness, then we got a problem. You know what I'm saying? So somebody got to go, and it won't be me, because I'm in my own lane and I do my own fucking thing. You feel me? So I ain't really big on that following shit. So basically, the shit is mine. So who won't get to go and not me? You know, and if it was a tables turned, then shit, I'm out. I ain't got time for this shit. I don't. If my energy is not matching up, I got to go. I got to. If I feel negativity, I got to go. Fuck that shit. I'm out. Anyway, and I recommend you do too. Stop sticking around trying to be newsy and proving a point or trying to suck up something. Shit, they got all the drinks. Fuck it. No, take your ass and your bitch ass out. Take a cup with you, goddamn it. Fuck out of here, you know. But anyway, yeah, I care for you guys, and I pray that when I present what I have to present to the world, which I gave y'all a little summary of what I'm trying to do. I just pray I get the help that I need to make the world a better place. Because I ain't really worried about me, because I'm good. So anything extra that I'm making is like, you know, because I want to, you know, get things, you know, done around the house. But outside of that, like, shit. I mean, when I die, who gonna get my shit? I ain't got no kids. My greedy ass family, like I keep saying, I ain't getting no motherfucking thing. I mean, I help the people. Spend it and do that. As long as I got enough to last me while I'm living and I'm comfortable, I'm good. And don't need for nothing, I'm good. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't have anybody to leave anything to. So it's just that. And then when that change, then I'll change. But for now, it's just not. I gotta worry about being a target. I'm chilling. Anyway, I'm about this bitch. You feel me? Out of here. Deuces.